I don't know what's going on the internet, but nobody wants to buy the mullet Mustang.
No, come on, internet.
Come on, man, buy our car. We'll take $15,000. Actually, we've kind of given up on that now, so we're going to try a little experiment. We're going to put a bunch of the stock parts back on this car, see if we can sell it plus the parts for the $15,000 that we wanted to get for it in its current condition. So, let the part out begin.
Once again, we've got the quick jack out. It's gonna help with this part out, and I know some of you are probably wondering, what about all the labor costs? And that is I think a determining factor whether you want to part your car out or not. And I'm expecting we're probably gonna put about 8 hours of work. Hopefully not more, ADP.
I think that's optimistic.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping 8 hours of work to take everything off this car. We're going to be leaving some of the stuff because we may have thrown some old stock parts out, but today we're starting with the suspension. We're going to put the stock wheels and tires back on, put the stock suspension in, but we did buy Eibach lowering springs, so we'll work that into the price because we're not going to sell this as a fully stock car. We're going to sell it as a lightly modded setup. We're going to leave the headers on. We're going to leave a bunch of stuff that we really don't want to get into removing, and we don't see that much value in terms of the effort to pull those off because like the headers, I estimate that would probably be about 8 to 10 hours DP and PT time to remove those. So there's no value in that. But otherwise, I'm hoping, I think we can probably make about, man, $5 grand-ish off the parts. And at that point, I'm going to try to sell the car for 10. So we may just get to our 15 grand marker that we wanted for the Mustang. I love this thing. I really do. I mean, it takes about 5 minutes to set up, but it's so worth it. And the height you get out of it is absolutely fantastic.
To put the lowering springs on, we got to take off the stock spring, and that means it's time for Dave's Ghetto spring removal technique once again. Peter hates it, so I always get to do this job.
Give her.
Just send it.
Kill yourself this time.
Just send it, Peter. Just send it.
Or strip a nut.
Yeah. Boom. Alright.
Good. Alright, well, I think we're ready to install the stock suspension with the Eibach Pro Kit spring.
Yeah, be interesting to see what the stance is like.
Yeah.
Pete just pulled our R1 coilovers, our multi-pro R1 coilovers out of the Mustang, and they're still like new. So if you have an S197 Mustang that you want to put multi-pro R1s on, we got a minty set just for you.
Ooh, shameless plug, I love it.
Send us an email. Best price on the whole internet. Come talk to us. Anyway, these are really good, by the way. I was very impressed by the ride quality on the street, and the performance of the track was on point, as you would expect with Eibach. All right.
Well, let's put these in and move on to the back. The back's gonna be fun. We gotta drop the axle.
Went dumpster diving and found our sway bars and panhard bar and rear brace. Dug up the old wheels, and now PT is going to start tearing apart the rear end.
Yeah, thankfully, because the sway bar has to come out for us to take the shocks off, and normally that's not the case, but I think we put a bolt in this way when it should have gone in that way.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, but we also need to find our rear diff cover.
Yes.
Because I think it's at your place, Dave. If not,
so, yeah.
We're going to have to leave this whole Watts link on here, and we definitely don't want to do that because I think that'll fetch a pretty penny on the used car market.
It's a quality piece. We don't want to give it away.
So anyways, what I'm going to do is just take the sway bar off here, then we'll be able to take the suspension off. We got to drop the axle to get at the springs, and then we can swap everything over, and more progress will be made. And now, one of the best modifications done on the Mustang.
That sexy hunk of carbon, yeah.
Oh,
man.
That QA1 carbon fiber drive shaft.
It is super baller spec.
It was baller spec. It still is baller spec.
You've been busy up here, DP. Wow, bumpers off. You gotta do some stuff when you're parting the car out, and I did that so that we could get at the oil cooler. It's a nice universal oil cooler kit, so we figured let's pull it off. We can reuse it on one of our other projects, and the new owner of this car is not likely to be aware of the need of an oil cooler
going
or
on the
likely to go to the
track.
track. So
Yeah.
let's pull it out. I fear once I pull the filter off, that's gonna.
Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't spill a drop, PT. That's
Wow,
a first.
that is a first.
That is a win.
It only took us to part out the Mustang.
I'm still calling it a win, buddy.
That's right. Man, oh man, DP, good job.
I'm like, I should be working at a wrecking yard.
Yeah.
I'm born to tear shit out.
Yeah.
And by the way, Internet, who chirped us about the fittings at the bottom being so disastrous, this thing worked perfectly. Not a leak in sight.
Not an air pocket.
Not an air pocket in sight either.
It did its job very well.
It's almost like there's oil pressure that would pressurize the system, and therefore it doesn't matter if the ports are on the top or the bottom. I mean, Masters engineers do it this way on the RX-8. McLaren Formula One cars do it this way on their transmission coolers. And our buddy Dimitri, who's the most sciencey guy I know, did it this way on his 900 horsepower E30.
So fact, you can mount your oil cooler upside down.
You can do it. You can do it, Internet.
It can be done.
Live on the edge sometimes. Just do it.
It is day 2, and I've gone ahead, removed the Autometer Wi-Fi gauges and the pod cover. I'm gonna list that up for sale, and thankfully we found the lower control arms and the rear diff cover, but the white line arm that, what was that one, Dave, that controls?
Like a third arm or the pinion arm up on top of the rear diff housing?
That rotates the pinion, the angle of the pinion.
Yeah.
That's got to stay because we can't seem to find that. But thankfully we have almost everything we need to put the rear end back together to a somewhat stock state. We're leaving the gears in there, obviously. All the bolts are out now, and the old silicone's got it on there a little too good. Bust out the screwdriver and hammer here, and hopefully I can just pound it. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now that this is off, I'm gonna put the stock one right here that I've already cleaned up.
All right.
It's ready to go. Put this guy back on. I just got to clean the surface here a little bit, and we can move on to the front because really I just have a what's the bar called, DP?
Oh, the panhard bar.
Yes. The panhard bar
And
to
the
put
sway
back
bar to
in.
throw in too,
yeah,
yeah.
and the sway bar, and we're good to go. So enough action here. Let's move up to the front.
DP, looks like you've made some progress here. You got the valve cover off on this side and working on this side here.
I'm just hard at it here. You know, you're not the only one doing work around
That's
here.
true.
Look, everybody.
That's true.
Evidence of DP doing work.
You have gotten dirty.
I've pulled the intake out, one valve cover off, second one's ready to come out. And then it's time for PT to shine with this whole cam swap thing.
Yeah, this is the one thing that can go wrong and really bite us in the butt.
Yeah.
Because if we screw this up, it's not like the rear end where a bolt's loose or something. This could end up in some engine failure, but I'm confident. We've done this enough times now that
and we have
I should be able to do it.
We have this 42 pages.
All right,
factory shop manual, so I think we'll be okay, but hopefully we can do it without having to take the whole front cover off.
Yes, yeah. Well, if it skips a tooth, then we're in trouble, but well, we'll try to do it.
No skipping teeth.
No, none today. How's your sense of deja vu right now, PT?
Very strong. And we've got our trusty, what is this, cam, chain, timing, whatever stopper tool in there.
Yep.
I've marked our phaser and our chain. So now I technically should be able to pull this camshaft out here. Let's see. Oh, DP.
What happened?
I forgot to take the bolt out.
Oh yeah, we loosened it, but we didn't take it out.
We loosened it, but yeah.
Yeah.
On the bright side, it does feel like it's coming.
Yeah, so we loosened that first, then we took off the cam caps, and now we're...
All of a sudden, it feels like this is an easy job.
Well, we've done it so many times now, Pete. We're experts.
It is something I don't want to be proud of or brag about.
No.
And you know what? We have done this so many times. These are one-time use bolts, and we actually have an extra spare set. It's like we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We just bought it in bulk. We said, forget it. All right. So I don't want to let this...
Yeah, you're good.
Too much. All right.
All right, comp cams.
Number one.
Coming on out. We'll miss the top end, but I must admit the bottom end torque of the OE cam is nice. It'll be good for a street.
This will be good for some drag racer. You want to make some top end power.
Yeah.
Cam right here for you.
That's right.
Look at that brand new phaser bolt.
Straight out of the packaging.
So fresh, so clean.
One-time use.
That's it.
All right. Well, so far I think everything has still stayed the same. Want to make sure we didn't throw any rockers, because that did happen in the past.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're a bit finicky.
So everything looks good. So now, what I need to do is put this in and line up the key here.
Yeah, there's like a
all
woodruff
about-
key or a slot in gear that the camera has
Correct,
to
yep.
go to. Yeah.
That was what we had to do last time.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, got her in.
What? So easy?
Oh, no. So now, let's get that bolt in there. Quickly.
Driver's side done, and PT's just throwing the cam caps on the passenger side.
And I gotta say, that was a pretty easy job.
I'm kind of blown away how quick you can swap cams in this car once you know what you're doing.
Once you're not an amateur like we were
Yeah.
a couple months ago.
Yeah. Like this literally is a 2-hour job, maybe? Like,
Yeah,
if that.
Exactly.
We're only an hour
if
into
you
it.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you could get this done really, really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that stopper tool is fantastic to
Yes.
hold the chain in place,
Yeah.
and we marked everything, and it's been going good.
Yeah.
Bam. Just flashed this thing back to stock for the time being. We're gonna load the map that On Point Dyno did, which I think made almost like 300 of the wheel, right?
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah. So, but in the meantime, let's turn this key off, hit done, put it back in, and we either hear some valves bend or we're all good, right?
Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Quiet it right down.
That was a little clacking there from the oil pressure, but all right, I'm not gonna smoke us out. That's a success.
That is a success.
Yes. All right, DP. So we're gonna call it for day 2, I think here.
Yep.
What's left to do?
I think we just throw the wheels and tires on.
Yeah, the
maybe
bumper.
the brakes, the bumpers.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it, yeah.
So we'll be back tomorrow. We are now at, I think, another
8 hours
yeah,
total?
Eight
8
and
to
a
10
half or-
hours, yeah. Something
Yeah,
in that
so
range.
we'll say 9 hours right now total in terms of the labor. And we don't charge labor very much for labor, so it's not bad. So we are at 9 hours, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, we only got an hour or two tomorrow, I think, at the
Yeah,
most.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, we ran into the old problem of the tires that we have on the original wheels are worn out.
Very, very worn out.
Did we go and buy more tires? When we priced it out, it was actually cheaper to pick up these replica style Ford GT 500 model wheels made by Fast Wheels. We picked them up for 270 bucks on Kijiji. Put some
Pretty good deal in my opinion.
Yeah, it is a killer deal, and they've got a bit of curb rash in places, but they look good. They look way better than the original wheels. Put the old Kumos back on that we ran at the beginning of this series, which is a really, really good summer tire. Super impressed by it. It's like a Michelin Pilot Super Sport contender. Looks good. I think it's going to give it that Mustang-y look, Pete. People are going to go make memes with this setup and live that Mustang dream.
And we hopefully will get our asking price for the car because of these wheels.
Yeah, I think they will help sell the car versus the little 17s, which
Yeah.
were too small on the car and the tires were junk. So this is a good upgrade for her.
Hopefully the final thing we do to the Mustang is torque the wheels here.
Yeah.
And then it'll be off to its new owner once we find one.
That's right. That could be tomorrow or next spring, depending on how
Yeah,
things
I think
go.
it may be next spring, unless one of you guys here from a southern state that doesn't deal with snow may want it.
Yeah.
But-
Or just somebody who knows a good deal when they see one.
That's right.
This thing's
Oh,
had the timing system redone. It's had the diff rebuilt. It's had all the correct fixes done to it, so it should be a good, reliable
yeah,
car
I agree.
for somebody.
Yep. And on top of that, I mean, it still has the headers,
Yeah,
the
exhaust,
exhaust,
so it sounds
the
good.
intake,
The brakes.
the
It's got good
brakes.
rotors and
Yeah,
pads
it's
on
got
it.
a bunch of the
K&N intake.
the front white line bushing,
White line stuff's in there.
ball
So, no,
joints.
it's-
So it's a proper car. I think it's really
And these
a good
Kumos are
platform.
like this wheel and tire package is a serious upgrade over
Yeah,
the stock stuff
yeah.
too. So no man, and the
First
Roush
shifter, yeah. Or
no.
sorry, Roush, yeah.
Yep, the Roush short shifter. There's lots of good stuff in it. So yeah, it should make a good car for somebody. it's just time for us to move on and build something else. Well, Peter, what do you think? I think it looks pretty good on these wheels.
I like it a lot, actually.
It does look good, and I must say it drives really nicely. I mean, on the stock shocks and the Pro Kit springs, it's got a nice compliant ride to it on the street, so it's a comfortable cruiser. And with the stock cams in it, man, the bottom end torque is impressive. It feels so much faster with these cams in it because you get all that bottom end torque.
That butt dyno, exactly,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, it really does make you feel like you're going fast even when you're just like in maybe 3,000 RPM. So, yeah, man, I think she's ready to go to a new home.
I hope so.
You guys know where to find us if you want to give it a new home. We're pretty sure you don't, but we might have some parts in here that you like. Come have a look at those. Welcome to Billy Bob's Mustang Used Parts Emporium. We got all kinds of good stuff here. Look at all them there shiny silver parts. I don't know what they do. They go on the underside of the car somehow, makes you get more traction. You need traction before you crash into those people. We got an oil cooler. I don't know why you want to make your oil cooler. I thought you might want to make your oil hotter, but anyway, that cools it down. Then there are gauges. They've got numbers on them I can't read. We got red stuff. We got silver stuff. We got round wheels. We got it all here. You buy it now at Crazy Billy Bob's Mustang Parts Emporium.
I wanted to end this video by giving you a breakdown of what we're looking at for the numbers for parting this car. And as you can see, we've got the Mustang listed for $10,000, which I'm pretty sure I can get for it. And the parts total here is almost $87.50, which is actually much more than I expected. I've already sold a couple things off, and some of my pricing may be a little too high, you never know. So I'm not 100% sure that we'll get the full $87.50, but let's say we do. There's almost 500 bucks in money that we spent on the springs and the wheels. So we're in and around $8,200. And if you add the asking price of the Mustang, we are at $18,000. So that is much higher than I expected. But realistically, the parts game, well, let's say I get closer to around, not $6,000 or maybe $7,000. So we're still up, which is a good thing. But again, you've got to consider the cost and the time of listing this stuff, selling it, having to take it off. So let me know what you think, whether this is worthwhile or your experience with parting a car. Is it worthwhile parting it, or is it more so better just to sell it off at a loss like we were going to for $15,000? Because realistically, if we had moved this car for $15,000, we didn't have to deal with all this nonsense of taking all the parts off and then selling them. So for us, that $3,000 or $2,000 extra dollars that we make, it's kind of debatable whether it's worth it. So let me know in the comments if you think this is a worthwhile deal to do and your experiences. So that wraps this video up. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button and hit the subscribe. It always helps us out. And we always have merchandise available at www.speed.academy. And lastly, we are running a boutique e-shop. So that means if you're looking for advice on what parts to buy for your car to make it go faster, look better, hit us up and hopefully we can provide that for you.
I think our Milwaukee is rated to 700 foot-pounds, so that should be the correct spec for this.
Yeah, this is really scary here.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
Oh.